gracious good day to one and all once again. 'Tis I, Norton the First, by grace of God, Emperor of the United States and Protector of Mexico. Back with you for the weekend edition of Emperor Norton's fantastic history vlog. And as we do every weekend, we welcome our special guest superstar, the Countess, Lola Montez of Landsfeld. Good day, Countess.
Good day, Your Majesty, and I hope you're faring well.
Very well indeed.
Thank you for watching.
This is episode number 198. Today is the 13th of March, 2021. It's our 362nd day living under COVID-19 restrictions. We're coming up on a year. It's incredible.
Hard to believe.
Indeed. Now, a little programming note. Next Wednesday's edition will be a clip show looking back on the last year, because it'll be a year of doing this vlog. And then we'll be coming back the Wednesday after that with the new format that we talked about in previous episodes. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment down below. We'd love to hear your comments. Also, if you would like to make a donation to us, we greatly appreciate all of our wonderful donors. Here's where you can do that. So, Countess, what do you have for us today?
Oh my, well, I'm just contemplating the whole idea that who would have fathomed that a year ago we would still be in shelter in place? But we do see a light at the end of the tunnel.
Indeed.
And you know, I think that in history we have gone through so many different things. And today we're going to talk about some of the everyday, ordinary things that are extraordinary.
Oh, good.
And one such person was the Muni driver that we all coined here in San Francisco, the Ding Dong Daddy. So we're going to be hearing about him. Now, you take Muni quite often, don't
All
you?
the time, indeed.
Yes, well, you know what they say, that Muni is from municipal urban transit, isn't it not? And so this feller was considered quite the ladies' man. So we're going to hear about him. And that would be Francis Van Wy. And he was the ding-dong daddy of the D line. And we'll go into that in a bit. A little later on, we'll have Miss I'm a Cracker, that country western star. And
Yes.
she's going to be singing If You've Got Cheating on Your Mind. So be sure to stay tuned for that. You know, I love to joke around with history, but you know who the biggest jokester in George Washington's army was?
No.
Lafayette. What did Americans do because of the Stamp Act?
What's that?
They licked the British. You know, I was asked recently if I knew the 16th president of the United States. No, I said, we've never been introduced. Why does history keep repeating itself, Your Majesty?
Why is that?
Well, because we weren't listening the first time. Why did the Pilgrims want to sail to America in the spring?
Why is that?
Because April showers bring May flowers. My friend Brenda said that she wished she had been born 1,000 years ago.
Why?
Well, just think of all the history that I wouldn't have to learn, she says. So an elderly woman and an elderly man were at a retirement home, and the man was shuffling a deck of cards for a card game. And the man asked, "Is this your first time?" And the woman replied, "It's been a while since a man has asked me that." You know, the worst time to have a heart attack is during a game of charades. My friend Brenda says, Men are like muni buses. You know, you miss one, you'll get another one. And some are broken and tired and old and run down, and some are just downright dirty. And others run very efficient and very fast and are on time. Did you hear about the guy that met a sex worker at the bar?
No.
She says, "This is your lucky night. I got a special game for you. I'll do absolutely anything you want for $300 as long as you can say it in 3 words." The guy replied, "Hey, why not?" And he pulls out his wallet and gives her $300 and says slowly, "Paint my house." Why do animals hate playing card games with foxes?
Why is that?
They're a bunch of cheetahs. My friend Brenda thinks she's so smart. She said onions are the only food that make you cry, so I threw a coconut at her. How do you make any salad into a Caesar salad?
How's that?
You stab it 23 times. You know, today a man knocked on my door and asked for a small donation toward the local swimming pool. I gave him a glass of water. So shall we move on to today's subject?
Yes, we shall.
Yes, and I will consult my notes. And please, as we mentioned before, like us and subscribe. And if you have any thoughts about what you would like to hear as far as San Francisco history or any other topics you would love to hear from us about, please let us know. Yes. Well, now, Francis Van Wy, a.k.a. the Ding Dong Daddy of D-Line, is the subject today. And we're going to profile a smooth ladies' man from San Francisco history. In January 1945, the newsboys at the Ferry Building in the San Francisco sold newspapers, and they would scream the headlines of the day. And that day they were screaming, "Battle of the Bulge, MacArthur in Manila." The most popular movie of the day, by the way, was Meet Me in St. Louis with Judy Garland. And she was singing the hit, "Clang, clang, clang with the trolley."
Mm-hmm.
You know that one, yes.
Oh, yes.
It was very popular. Now, in San Francisco, the readers were drawn to the local news of the day. Love gone wrong. All had started with a Muni streetcar conductor, Francis Van Wy, arrested and put in jail on bigamy, charged in 1945. Now, San Francisco locals were following the story of Francis Van Wy as it unfolded daily in the newspapers with the latest developments. The stories had all the elements of broken hearts, jilted lovers that everyone could identify with. Remember, wives and girlfriends were missing husbands, and boyfriends away in service found romantic human interest in the stories. They could be seen wiping tears away in public on streetcars and buses as they read the story. San Franciscans began to refer to the Muni conductor as the car barn Casanova, the trolley Toreador, but the name that stuck was given by Stanton Delaplane, reporter for the San Francisco Chronicle, when he referred to Francis Van Wy as Ding Dong Daddy of the D-Line. Now, he had taken the name from the popular song Ding Dong Daddy of Dumas, as recorded by Louis Armstrong 10 years earlier. Actually, truth be told, Francis Van Wy never worked on the D-Line. But Stanton Delaplane and the editors of the Chronicle followed the newspaper adage of the time, never let the facts get in the way of a good story. So what is the true story as we look back? And as you and I always say, we don't write history. History writes itself. So during the late 1930s and 1940s, San Francisco was lacking men due to World War II enlistment. Francis Van Wy was assigned to Turk and Fillmore, an MSR division, while the D line, always a Muni line, ran from Geary Division about 20 blocks away. Muni officially acquired its private competitor, including the employees such as Francis Van Wy, on September 29, 1944. Now, in 1942, as young men joined the armed forces, the streetcar lines increasingly stuffed its aging fleet with equally aging conductors. Francis Van Wy was 60, wearing eyeglasses, with a shiny bald head. He was 5 feet 2 inches and 180 pounds. Yet he seemed to exert an almost hypnotic charm over the middle-aged women on his route. He collected marriage licenses as frequently as streetcar transfers. He came into contact with many of these women customers, always charming and smiling easily and flattering them with comments every day, such as, "My, but that's a nice hat you're wearing today. It really sets off those charming blue eyes of yours," or, "Now there's a pretty lady." Francis Van Wy was too old to be drafted, but not too old to flirt, and then some. Francis Van Wy relished his role as streetcar conductor, and he later stated, "If any of my occupations made women like me, it was being a streetcar conductor. It was a position of authority and seemed to represent standing in the community. It was a very respectable job, and they thought they could be sure of getting my weekly paycheck." Norma Barzan, a reporter from the San Francisco Examiner, in an interview with Francis Van Wy, was told by him, and I quote, "If you're a woman, I could get you to marry me in a month. Women want to be told they're loved more than anything else, and they want their own way. It's simple. If I wanted to get to marry you, I'd help you cook dinner some night, and I'd make you feel how cozy and secure love can be. Older women are the ones who like to feel secure. They want to feel they're building a home and just starting out like a 16-year-old bride. I know how to make a woman feel as if she's the only woman in the world, and I'm the only man." And that's the end of the quote. His proposal line that he always used was, "Let's build a life together." Norma Barzman described Francis Van Wy as Francis Van Wy story that he got so famous locally that he complained that whenever he walked into a San Francisco tavern, the bartender would buy his drink and someone would put a nickel in the jukebox and play the trolley song. Actually, for a time, his fame spread nationwide, thanks to a story first scooped by the San Francisco Examiner, and the reporter was Ernest Lynn. But he was immortalized by Chronicle reporter Stanton Delaplane.
Yes.
It was a story of the ding-dong daddy of the D-car line. Now, Muni and MSR employment records of the period were destroyed, but recollections of contemporaries make it clear that during this spree, Francis Van Wy was assigned to Turk and Fillmore. That would be the local 22 today, yes. Ruth Losaga, a retired MSRY motorette and conductor, recalled in an interview that during her tenure at the Turk and Fillmore division, she had Francis Van Wy as her conductor on the Fillmore Street, and she said that he was the last person in that car house I would have expected to have been a bigamist, and said that he did not cause her any concerns. Market Street Railway historian Philip Hoffman recalled riding on Van Wy's car on the 22 line and said that after the trials, one of the papers staged a photo op. And they staged that with Francis Van Wy, and they put him on the rear platform of the Muni D-Line car, number 172. In that period, Turk and Fillmore housed only two main streetcar lines, the 22 Fillmore as Van Wy's line. Considered that wife number 8 reportedly lived at 8 Sanchez Street, 1 block west of the 22 lines, turn from Dubose and Fillmore. Now another wife lived at 426 Oak Street, 2 1/2 blocks from the Fillmore line. Another wife was at 650 Oak Street, all just steps from his route on the 22 line. How convenient.
Very.
Yes. Now the wives seem rather unabased about how they fell for their true love. Most were middle-aged women. Francis Van Wy always worked at the rear platform of the streetcar rather than the front. And why is that? Well, he would stand, if he would have been on the other end of the car, he would have stood beneath a prominent "Do Not Talk to the Motorman" sign. By 1945, Francis Van Wy had married 15 times without ever divorcing. Now, when his wives found out, they went straight to the district attorney's office, and that would be later Governor Pat Brown. It was Pat Brown that brought criminal charges against Francis Van Wy. District Attorney Pat Brown presented a different portrait, citing evidence that Van Wy had abandoned one wife and a baby, who had later, she adopted him out, and Van Wy denied this, claiming it couldn't be his child as he was sterile. Well, Brown portrayed him as a youthful horse thief, and later a man absconded with union funds, a very serious charge in a pro-labor San Francisco. Now, finally, Brown dropped the bombshell that wife number 5, Mabel, was really his daughter by his first wife. Francis Van Wy finally claimed that she was indeed the daughter of wife number 1, but that he was not her biological father. Days before, now remember, this is the days before a DNA test was possible. A committee of business leaders hired Jake Ehrlich, the city's top criminal defense lawyer, to defend the returned Romeo. His employer, utilities manager E.G. Cahill, took a pragmatic view of the situation, saying, "I believe the public cares more about getting streetcar service than whether a man has 1 or 5 wives. San Franciscans have always been mesmerized by a good storyteller, and Francis Van Wy was a consummate liar." One wife recounted how he would turn up wearing an army uniform after being missing for a while, always with excuses and telling different stories. By early February, things were looking bad for Ding Dong Daddy in court. He entered an unsuccessful insanity plea, which the jury deliberated on for 55 minutes before denying on the second ballot. He was convicted on bigamy and sentenced to 10 years. Francis Van Wy entered San Quentin Prison on April 12, 1945. The day, that's also the day Franklin Delano Roosevelt died. He quickly disappeared from the news for a while, and Francis Van Wy was convicted and served 3 years in San Quentin Prison. When he got out, he had lost his job at Muni, but on release, he worked first as a peach picker, then as a janitor in Oakland at the Machek Waffle and Cocktail Lounge at 22nd and Telegraph. He undoubtedly witnessed the last days of the Oakland streetcar service. In 1949, he surfaced again in the news when he approached none other than his trial judge, Kaufman, with a request to be married. After the stunned judge asserted that he was free to marry since he had cleared all his prior marriages through annulments and divorce, he insisted that Frances Van Wy bring the fiancé into the court. There he strongly advised her against marrying him. Van Wy continued his marrying ways, although this time legally. In 1952, Frances Van Wy popped up in the press again, working at the El Rey Burlesque Theater at 35th and San Pablo Avenues in Oakland. Here he starred in an act entitled My True Love Story, wherein he and the accomplished performers all wore conductor's hats. The last time there was a coverage of the Ding Dong Daddy was in the San Francisco Press on May 8th, 1958, when an article noted that Frances Van Wy, then 73, married his 18th wife in Southern California. He soon dropped out of sight and died in the town of Lake Elsnore.
S-L.
How do you pronounce that?
Elsinore.
Elsinore. Okay. And that's
Elsinore.
Elsinore. Okay. That's in Riverside County, and that was in 1973. Now, well, it just goes to show love is blind, but marriage is an eye-opener. By the way, His Majesty or myself, we're available to perform marriages, should you so need.
So we are.
Yes.
So, marrying people without first divorcing them. Why does that ring a bell?
We don't know.
We never married.
Well, I never bothered to divorce either, so I'm not one to throw stones at people who live in, or what is the term?
Glass houses.
People that live in glass houses should not throw stones.
What a fascinating story. What an interesting figure from our history.
So next time we take Muni around San Francisco, we'll have to remember that story.
Keep an eye out for the Ding Dong Daddy.
Especially on the 22 line. So are we ready for some entertainment?
Oh, that would be wonderful.
Yes. Well, we're going to have I'm a Cracker today. And she can charm the feathers off a duck. And she could charm the dew right off the honeysuckle. She can rock them high heel shoes, but she'd rather wear cowboy boots. Now, this diva of country western music is here to sing from the Horny Bull Bareback Bar in Killeen, Texas. And we're going to have to conjure her up.
Oh boy.
Yes. Iggity piggity bumblebee. Miss I'm a Cracker, please sing for me. If you got leaving on your mind, tell me now or get it over. Hurt me now and get it over. If you got leaving on your mind, if there's a new love in your heart, tell me now and get it over. Hurt me now, get it over. If there's a new love in your heart, don't leave me in a world filled with dreams that might have been. Hurt me now, get it over, that I may learn to love again. If there's a new love in your heart, tell me now, get it over. Hurt me now, get it over. If there's a new love in your heart, hurt me now, get it over. If there's a new love in your heart.
Oh, we're back. What an interesting trip that was. What a great singer.
Oh, Miss I'm a Cracker. Yes, indeedy. I think that was originally a Tammy Why Not song.
Ah.
Or Wynette.
I think Why Not might be better.
Mm.
So, that wraps it up for this edition. Now, please remember to like, subscribe, and comment down below. Also, if you would like to make a donation, we greatly appreciate our patrons. Here's where you can do that. We shall have another fantastic trivia quest. Haven't set the date yet.
Sounds good.
But we will. So, until we see you again, stay safe and stay healthy. But if you go outside, please wear your mask to prevent more suffering and death. We don't want to do that. We're getting pretty close to turning the corner, perhaps. It'll all be done with your cooperation. Do not take unproven cures that might kill you. Get a jab instead. We have. So until we see you again, a gracious good day.
Au revoir. Thanks for watching.